There's a brand new varsity sport in the area. We'll talk with some of the pioneers. Softball, soccer, lacrosse, and of course Athlete of the Week coming up on this week's installment of Varsity 360, and it starts right now. Hi there everyone, Mark Coleman here from the Virginia Varsity Sports Network, and this is Varsity 360, where we look at the week's top stories in Fredericksburg area high school sports. This is our April 14th, 2014 installment. You can find us here each week at fredericksburg.com. Happy to be partnered with the Freelance Star and their sports department. I have the distinct pleasure each week of chatting with some of the wonderful folks from the award-winning FLS varsity team. This week is no different. We have two of the cream of the crop from the FLS varsity. Representing the Freelance Star, we have Assistant Sports Editor Justin Rice. Justin, welcome.
Am I the cream or the crop? I don't know.
We'll figure that one out a little bit later.
All right.
Also joining us, we have sports reporter Nathan Warters. Nathan, welcome.
Thanks,
A
Mark.
blogger now as well.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. Well, fellas, as I was prepping for this show, the thought occurred to me that maybe we should put together one of those viral videos where we lip sync to a Frozen song, or maybe dance to Happy or something like that. But I thought maybe not. Did I make the right decision there?
Who says we already haven't done that?
Yeah.
So,
Well, have you seen this Fredericksburg Happy video? Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
have not seen
Yeah,
it.
it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's fun, and it's a catchy song.
So right after we're done watching Varsity 360, we should go watch this video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No doubt.
Well, I'll do that.
You'll be thanking me later.
I will,
Trust
probably
me.
not.
Trust me. Well, some big news in Conference 22 boys soccer. Getting back to sports here, Nathan. Can you bring up to speed a big game last night?
yeah, the Chancellor boys are on a roll. They beat Cortland on the road. It's their first win at Cortland since 2007. A huge win for them. Devin Hewitt scored a goal in the 65th minute, and they won 1-0. I think they've shut out at least their last two opponents. King George, the game I covered last week, beat them 3-0. So they're winning on the road, and they're using a pretty aggressive offensive style to really set up their defense. Teams aren't really getting a lot of opportunities on the other end, and seems like they're poised to make a run here.
Yeah.
And it feels like Chancellor and Cortland, that's the teams it seems like we're going to talk about when it comes to Conference 22 boys soccer.
Yeah.
It seems like Chancellor and Cortland are going to be it. So that's a big win for Chancellor to go out and beat Cortland.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, congratulations to the Chancellor boys soccer team on a big win over Cortland. We've got some special guests in studio. Very happy to introduce some of the girls from the Stafford High School girls lacrosse team, headed up by Coach Julie Kelsey. Coach, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, very happy to have you. So you brought along some of your players. Would you mind introducing them?
Oh, I'd love to introduce them. Right here I have Morgan Everitt. Morgan's one of my defense players. She's a 10th grader at the school. I have Mikaela Brooks. She's a 9th grader. She's one of the babies. And she's one of my superstar goalies. Over here I have Haley and Parish. And Haley is one of my attack and midfield players. She's also the highest scoring player on the team. And then I have Amanda Thomason. She's a senior, also a fellow attacker, and one of the co-captains with Morgan is the other co-captain. So I have both my captains here.
Excellent. All right. Well, welcome, girls. It's very nice to have you, and very exciting. So you guys are trailblazers. You're the first girls lacrosse team in Stafford County and at Stafford High School, and that's something that'll be true forever and always. Yeah. Does that reality sink in? I mean, you're still in high school, and you've got a first already, so you're setting records and setting milestones, which has got to be exciting.
It's crazy to think about.
Crazy to think about, yeah. So was it something that you thought about before you started this season, or was that one of the reasons that you wanted to play?
For me, most definitely. I knew as soon as I heard that girls lacrosse was going to be in Stafford, I was like, yeah, I gotta play. There's no way I'm not gonna do it. I didn't even care if I make JV. I'm gonna do it. Like, it wasn't even about what team I made or how bad I looked out there, because I hadn't played since I stopped playing SLA. So it was just one of those, like, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Could you talk about the process to, I know you were involved to help get the sport at the school and at all the county schools. Can you talk about that and your involvement and what it was like?
We've wanted to get high school, girls lacrosse in high schools for a while now, and my dad and some of our fellow friends among the county were trying to push it in there, and we found out that Stafford County was in violation of Title IX, and we had to get girls lacrosse, otherwise the county was in some trouble. And so we finally were able to get inside and push it through the school system with immense support from everybody around the county. And once trials happened, we showed the school board that the sport was truly needed, and it was a wonderful feeling.
Could you talk about that day when they finally said, yes, we're going to do it? I mean, that's probably
I think
special.
I might have cried. It was full of happy emotions that I finally get to represent my high school and people get to know more about this amazing sport.
How long have you played lacrosse?
7.5 years.
All of these girls have been playing before. This isn't the first year for any of you, but there are some girls on the team. This is the first time they've picked up a lacrosse stick, yes?
Yes.
Coach, tell me about, so this is the second team actually that you have started from scratch.
Yes, I actually coached down in St. Mary's County at Leonardtown High School, and I started their team back 15 years ago, and I got to do it again here. So it's been interesting. We've got some great athletes out. We have a phenomenal field hockey team, so some of our athletes there came out and they were able to pick up the stick, and within 20 minutes they had it down pretty well. I had other girls that it took them since October coming to conditioning to really get up to speed to where we needed them to be. All in all, it's been a great start to the program. I mean, the girls are phenomenal. Our whole team gets better every game we play.
Julie, you told me, I guess back in February, that year after year you went into Wes Bergazzi's office and said, hey, can we have girls lacrosse? Can we have girls lacrosse?
Yes.
To finally have gotten it, to finally have this program up and running, I mean.
It's a lot. As I basically, when I got interviewed at Stafford High, I told the principal then, I want girls lacrosse, and he said it'll be here in a couple years, and that was back 13 years ago. And now 13 years later, I finally got the sport. I even told the girls I was ready to cry at the first game when we got to walk out on the field, because it just meant so much to finally have it after so long begging and pleading. And Mr. Bergazzi, I think, was finally relieved to not have me in his office every year.
Girls, could you talk about some of the recruiting you had to do to get some of your friends and so on? You were going to fill out these teams and find girls and athletes that can help you all out, right?
I dig through my friends list. I really persisted all of my friends to come join the girls lacrosse because I honestly didn't know that so many girls would try out, and I'm really happy to say that I've made friends on this lacrosse team.
I definitely went to everybody in October, come out to girls lacrosse, just come out please, conditioning, go to one, find out if you even like it or not, and I'm hoping that you come to tryouts. And I think we all begged our friends.
Did you resort to like scouting the field hockey team and things like that?
Yeah, some of them, because I knew some of them before.
Y'all had, how many did y'all have come out? Was it about 40 that you had?
39 girls.
39.
We have 19 on the varsity team and 20 on the JV team.
Was that expected? I mean, when the kind of the ball started rolling, were you expecting that kind of turnout?
Yeah, I knew there was going to be that kind of turnout. In the past, when I tried to start clubs and stuff at the school, I had between 60 to 80 girls who were interested, and even our interest meeting beginning of this year, we had 62 girls there in our interest meeting back in September. So I knew we were going to have enough to field the two teams. So I mean, I knew it was coming.
Girls, I know some of your teammates started from scratch. Could you talk about the challenge of speaking lacrosse to them, or where you're trying to communicate on the field, and they're different. It's a different sport, and they might not know what they're doing. Could you talk about the challenges there that you face?
Definitely I feel all of us playing before, there's challenges of not really catching the ball or getting the ball on the ground off immediately. I feel like we're all working and kind of be more patient with each other, and I think that's an awesome skill to have in general. But on defense, I think that we're both seeing the terms such as crash, or just get in and stop the girl, or goal side of go back and protect your goalie, stick with her.
As being goalie, you look like when you clear the ball, you look to people you trust, and it's hard to look at the field and be like, they don't catch the ball all the time, so I don't want to do it. But now, like, I can say as the team has progressed, I feel like I can trust anybody I pass the ball to, and if I mess up, they're like, it's okay, it happens, and it just feels good to know that you have a bond, like, sister-wise with, like, everybody on the team, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, if you mess up, everybody's like, it's okay, we'll get them next time. It's not just one person's fault. We take it as a team, and that's great to know.
So talking about that bond, it's gotta, I would imagine it would feel good to finally to be part of a team that is sanctioned by the county. You get to wear jerseys with your school name on it. Your schoolmates, your classmates recognize you as being varsity athletes, but you also get to bond together as a team. Coach, can you talk about that a little bit? And then girls, I'm also curious to know what that's like when you talk about forming the team, leadership, trusting each other, those kinds of things.
That's one of the biggest things I work on. I mean, the skills and all that is important, but if they're not a team, they're not going to work together very well. So I try to do a lot of spirit activities with them. We try to get them pumped up before the games. We, I have my captains, they take pretty good care of the girls and make sure that, if they're taken care of, if there's issues, they come and tell me about it and we deal with it when it happens. It's got to be, we're a team. There's no I, it's team, and we work really well together, and we've been progressing, so I'm really happy with them. And we've done a few fun bonding games. We played Duck, Duck, Goose one practice, and Sardines another practice, and we have fun when we can. And even I let the captains have a captain's practice the other day, and they did some fun stuff there. So.
Who's the Duck, Duck, Goose MVP? I mean, like, who is the who we established who the best Duck, Goose is?
No.
I was sick that day, unfortunately.
I think Ayana.
Ayana was,
Yes.
yeah.
Got mad skills.
So Haley, they don't pick you. Are you too fast for everybody? Is that what it is?
Yes.
So has this season been what you've would have expected before the season started? Has it?
Not at all.
No. How is it different?
It is so much better than I
Better.
ever expected.
I was cringing the whole season that no one's going to catch the ball. We're only going to get 20 goals the whole season, and we've already surpassed that within the first 4 games. It was seeing the rate that the girls are progressing at is just incredible to see personally.
So the Stafford team today beats the Stafford team that took the
hands
field
down.
in the opener.
Yeah,
Hands down.
they would grind them in the dirt.
Eat their liver. So, Morgan, you said that you were worried that the team wouldn't score 20 goals, but Haley, you've already scored 21 on the year, including 8 in one game. Is that? Do I have those numbers correct?
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty good number, I think. Does that make you feel proud?
Oh yeah.
You think you're going to add to those numbers? So, how many games have you played so far, Coach? 5 or 6? Oh, 8 games. Okay.
8 games, yeah.
Okay, but there's still a lot of games to be played.
There's still a lot of games we played, and we still have to play North Stafford, so I'm hoping we can beat them, so we will beat the other 3 rivals.
I know a lot of the club girls from a lot of different schools, they know each other and they've been playing together. Now you guys are playing for these competitive teams. Has the cross-county, those relationships and those rivalries, can you already see that?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. We played Colonial Forge the other night when I walked out the field, and Miss Kelsey put me on attack against Becca because she's a defender for Colonial Forge. She was like, "You know how I am. Don't take it offense to anything I do out here." And it was like I know how you are. So it was kind of funny to play against somebody that you are so used to playing with. Mm-hmm. And it's even though it was a good game, it was fun to see everybody out there and see how much they've progressed since you've played with them, and it's an amazing feeling to be out there with everybody out there and creating bonds with this team and still creating bonds with the other team.
Sure. When you talk about starting a brand new sport in the entire county, at least in my mind, I'm questioning how competitive is this going to be countywide? And it seems like everybody's picked it up and everybody's done well. Turnout's been good. Teams are doing well. Has it been above and beyond what you guys expected as a whole for every school?
Yes, most definitely.
I had confidence we were going to do good, though. I knew we were. I've been waiting for it for a while, and I knew we had the athleticism and we have the girls. So I wanted to beat the county teams. That's been my goal. I knew we were going to not be quite as competitive with the Prince William schools, but I knew we were going to beat
2-1 start against the county teams, right?
Yep, exactly. So we're going to beat North then, too. So it'll be 3-1. So sorry, we're coming after you, North.
Fight words on that.
Wow. I like it.
The club association, Stafford Lacrosse Association, those guys, they had a good foundation laid for the sport, right, in the county, and that had to be what was coming.
Yeah, it's been a while. They've been in and out. When I was about 12 years ago, I wanted to get back into lacrosse after leaving it in St. Mary's, and I helped out with the Spotsylvania Stafford Lacrosse Association. It was then. Eventually they split off, but we did several games where we had a Stafford team and Spotsylvania team, and then that they kind of died down. So I and another couple people started the Rappahannock Girls Lacrosse League, and we had that going for several years. And then, fortunately, SLA took up the flag. I always look at Morgan. Her dad's one of the commissioners for SLA, so I always look at Morgan. And they've done a great job. They've really pushed it, and they're giving us a good feeder program for our high school.
That's great. It's got to be a great success story to see all the girls out there playing, and they're really taking to it.
Yeah.
I think they surely demonstrated that, yes, it was time for girls lacrosse.
Overdue, if anything
Overdue,
else.
yes.
And how wonderful is this? So we've got 4 girls representing each grade. We've got a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior, several freshmen on the team. So the future looks bright, at least in terms of girls, and I'm sure the interest is going to continue to increase. And you guys are going to be firsts.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day that we can look up in the stands. It looks just like a football game for everybody to be there, because exactly what it's going to be like. Just give it time.
Yeah.
I promise you, because especially with how we're going now, it's just
You keep
time.
beating the county teams, and then I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be bittersweet in 10 years when we come back and your high school reunion, you can see the girls across. And you can say, I used to play for them. I started the program.
Yeah, you can say
we all did.
No one will be able to take that away from you. You can say that,
And
that
Haley's
you
goal
started
record
this.
will be right up there.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, you're setting records and setting milestones that you're putting out there for some future girl to beat. So that's really awesome.
And for the
I'm
record,
so
who
proud
had
of
the
you guys.
first? Who was the first goal scorer?
It was Caitlin Godsey. Caitlin Godsey.
Awesome.
So you can win your bar bet next
That's
weekend.
right. When
Yeah.
that comes up,
Yeah.
we'll be able to pull that.
It's also worth noting that 2 of these girls have already gotten college interest for lacrosse. This is a unique sport in terms of colleges because there's so many different club levels. It's hard for the colleges to recruit. So the high school teams actually make it easier for the colleges to come out. Amanda's already got interest. Morgan's getting interest. So it's really cool to see a lot of the girls in the area starting to get college interest to play at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. But lots of cool stories here. So I'm very,
great.
very pleased, very proud of you guys. Looking forward to more great things, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. This is good to meet you guys, and excited to see. I'll be honest, I've not seen a girls lacrosse game yet, but I'm going to come out and try to catch one. I really am, and
Our
I want to
next
see.
one is May 12th.
May 12th.
Come on out.
Okay. Is it
7
a home
o'clock,
game
the
for you?
varsity. It's our home game, so
Okay.
we're playing North.
Okay.
It's our
Apparently a
senior
big
night.
game.
It'll be a big game.
You'll be
Yes,
beating
it will
North,
be.
so, right? Yep. So, okay, wonderful. Well, Coach, it was wonderful having you. So we've got Morgan, Mikaela, Haley, and Amanda. Thanks
Yes.
for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, let's take a look at girls softball. Justin, I believe I read in your softball notepad last week about how the Riverbend Bears team was coming together. It didn't quite work out that way so well for them last week, however. A couple of bad losses, including a big loss to North Stafford on Friday.
Yeah, they lost to North on Monday. They lost
On
to
Monday.
Forge on Friday. Yeah, it's
Right.
the Freelance Star jinx strikes again. You know, we write about that. But I think what I actually take away from the Riverbend North game is Conference 15 looks pretty good. You know, North Stafford's got a win against Riverbend. Riverbend beat Mountain View. Mountain View has wins against North, Massaponax, Brook Point, all in games that don't count in the Conference 15 standings. And then I think Ponex and Brook Point have both looked good at times this year. They played a close game on Friday. Tori Reisner from Massaponax hit a walk-off home run, so the Panthers beat the Blackhawks.
3-run walk-off home run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, all in that first Conference 15 meeting that doesn't count in the conference standings. It's going to really come down to the first 2 weeks in May. On May 2nd, Massaponax and North play, Mountain View and Brook Point play. Those are the first 2 games for those guys in the Conference 15 standings, and I think we'll start to sort it out among those 4 teams and who's going to earn a region. But I think all 4 of the local teams are better than the 2 Prince William County schools in the conference. But I think among those 4, it could be really competitive. All of them have pitching. You know, North Stafford has a freshman, Nicole Badami. I think I'm probably butchering it.
Hope so.
She's been a freshman that's looked really good.
Yeah.
Of course, Mountain View has Taylor Lovec back, who's one of the best returning pitchers. She's a sophomore. You know, and Brook Point has the experienced pitcher, Gabby Palmer, is a senior. She's been around there for a couple years and can be effective as well. You know, I think Conference 15 softball looks really competitive among those 4
Lined up
teams.
pretty nicely. Yeah, that's exciting. How about Conference 4?
Conference 4, kind of the opposite. Right now, early on, Forest Park is 3-0 in conference games. Hilton is 2-0 in conference games. And those 2 look like probably the top 2. you still feel like Riverbend is a team that can sneak up, or not sneak up, but can get together and get into a conference tournament and win those games. I think Riverbend at times has been very, very good this year, and even Colonial Forge, I think lately has started to get maybe some quality wins, including Friday's win against Riverbend. I think that's a good one. So I think Forge, Riverbend, both those teams could play their way into contention. And Stafford certainly has played competitive games with the local teams, and you're getting into a conference tournament situation. Who knows?
Sure.
Yeah.
Emily Bradford with a home run and a double, 4 RBIs, and that victory for Colonial Forge over Riverbend. Well, how about Conference 22 then? Some exciting matchups there as well.
I think 22 is maybe the most clear of the three. King George is 4-0. Fauquier is 4-0. They play May 2nd and May 19th. Like some of those Conference 15 teams, King George breaking a new pitcher, freshman Ashley Knowles, off to a great start. And again, King George 4-0 in the conference. Eastern View's 3-1 in the conference. Their loss, they got the one loss, but I think the King George Fauquier games, when they get to play each other, those are going to be the class of Conference 22.
Yeah. So Ashley Knowles from King George, a 7-0 victory over Chancellor, a 3-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts in that game.
She's a freshman.
She's a freshman.
They've got a couple of those kids around here, freshman pitchers, going to make picking all area teams pretty tough here in a couple of years. Yeah.
No doubt. I think this season's probably even going to be challenging, but it's not going to get any easier for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a look at the softball around the area. Time now for the Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Anytime Fitness, who plays baseball for King George, where the Foxes won 10-0 recently, and Lane Ward threw a complete game no-hitter. It was actually the second consecutive no-hitter for King George. Lane Ward, our Athlete of the Week. Nathan, 2 consecutive no-hitters. Have you heard of this before in high school?
Yeah, I mean, you hear about it, and it's the mark of a good team when you can go out there and keep guys off base. You're a good team there, and Hunter Tolliver had a no-hitter the previous game against James Monroe, and then now Lane gets one. A really impressive feat for the Foxes there. Yeah,
I think you said good team. King George right now looks like King George and Fauquier maybe the class of Conference 22. King George is 3-1, Faulquier's 3-0. Of course, Fauquier with the big win against King George this past Saturday. They'll meet again coming down the road. As long as King George can stay within a game there, they can still be in the mix to be the 1 seed. But I think the Foxes and the Falcons, that's the teams you're going to start talking about when you talk about Conference 22 baseball.
Yeah. Congratulations to Lane Ward, the Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week. Well, that's going to do it for this week's installment of Varsity 360. As always, it's been a pleasure having the wonderful team, the cream of the crop, the cream and the crop from the FLS Varsity. We've got Justin Rice and Nathan Warters. Fellows, it's always a pleasure having you around. I think I kind of enjoy this.
Thanks, Mark.
We do too. Thank you.
Also wanted to say a big thanks to the Stafford Indians girls lacrosse team. How wonderful is it to be able to say that. Coach Julie Kelsey and her players, they did a wonderful job. Certainly wish them the very best of luck. I'm going to go out and catch a Stafford girls lacrosse game, and I hope that I can see you guys out there as well. Next week is spring break. We're going to take a week off. Hope you guys enjoy some downtime. Not a whole lot going on, at least in high school sports. I know you guys will still be busy around the sports desk. How about we get back together in 2 weeks? I think we're going to be getting into important conference matchups. Should be some good games played. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that last week in April, first week in May, second week in May, it's when it's really going to come to a head, and a lot of these key conference matches are going to start to take place.
Yeah, super. All right, well, that'll do it. I appreciate everyone watching. On behalf of the Virginia Varsity Sports Network, I'm Mark Coleman. Thanks for watching, everyone.